Welcome to the Slow Living Collective podcast. I'm Amy, wife, mother of two and devoted homemaker. Join me on this journey as we explore the beauty of slow and simple living, where life unfolds at its own unhurried pace. I'll take you through my experiences of slowing down, tending to our allotment plot, finding joy in the little things and making the most of our small home. Together we'll learn to live in harmony with the ever-changing seasons, discovering the magic that lies in embracing the present moment. So let's embark on this enriching adventure towards a more intentional and fulfilling life. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Slow Living Collective podcast. I'm Amy and I want to thank you so much for being here and joining me in today's episode. Now you might have looked at the episode title today and been like, Amy, New Year was months ago. What are you talking about? Well, if you've been a listener of this podcast for any length of time, or whether you follow me over on Instagram, you will know that I do not celebrate the New Year in January. And there are a number of reasons for that. Firstly, I guess it's that connection to the seasons. There is nothing logical. There is nothing numerical. There is nothing historical. There is basically no connection to the date of the 1st of January anywhere. It has no significance and no bearing other than it's just a date. And a lot of the things when we look into seasonal living, when we look into nature and the way things have always naturally been, often things are connected to the cycles of things. You know, we have the solstices and the equinoxes connected to the movement of the sun and the length of our days. We have things connected to the lunar cycle. We have everything in our life is almost connected to a cycle. We have the cycle of the seasons. We have spring, summer, autumn, winter. Everything is cyclical in its nature. And then there is the 1st of January, and it has no bearing on anything other than it falls just after Christmas. There's no connection to it at all. And historically even, the calendar always used to celebrate the beginning of the year in March, particularly around that of the spring equinox. And when I first started diving into seasonal living, it was on the discovery of that I realised that makes so much sense. Now, last year I actually did a podcast episode with Billy from Each Mindful Day, and we discussed wintering and the importance of living seasonally, particularly in winter, as that episode was a winter episode. And from then, we sort of discussed how we feel throughout the winter months, and we discussed our own feelings on New Year and springing into this new season when we were really in the depths of winter. And I think that's what it comes down to. There's no logical reason for New Year to be on the 1st of January. Like I said, it's a date that is unconnected with everything, and it almost comes off the back of a very, very busy period of life. So we are, trucking through autumn, and we tip over into meteorological winter, which is considered to be December, January and February. Now, whether you follow things meteorologically or whether you follow things seasonally, certainly we have winter solstice late into the month of December, when winter truly begins, the shortest day, and all due to the way the Earth tilts on its axis, giving us less daylight hours in the Northern Hemisphere. And obviously the opposite is true for the Southern Hemisphere. Now, it was when you start to look at things seasonally, you realise that we come off the back of this very busy season. We go into winter in December, where we're all so preoccupied with Christmas. Everything is bright and sparkly and twinkly, and it feels nice, it feels cozy, it feels comfortable. We have this wonderful celebration of Christmas. We build up to it, we have the celebration, then we have the celebration of New Year, and then we plummet. We plummet into nothing. What do we have to look forward to? Winter is here, and we've only just realised it because we've been so preoccupied throughout December. We didn't quite realise that it was winter. I mean, we did, we know, but there is so much else preoccupying our minds that it's almost like this massive come down in the new year. And so we dive straight into January. People are back at work, they're back at school, the weather's miserable, it seems ages till spring, and it's almost like we have spent the month of December on this upward trajectory, enjoying Christmas and the festive season, and then like bam, it's done. We're back to normality and there is nothing going on, and we are in the deep, dark depths of winter. And winter is a time for rest. It is a time for rest, relaxation, restoration. It's not a time for resolutions. It's not a time for goal setting. It's a time to be inward and take that time to rest. We, in modern society, we live in this phase like we live in an eternal spring and summer. We are expected to operate at a level that is akin to the way we operate in spring and summer, and that is full on because we are powered by the sun essentially, but we're expected to do this in the months where it doesn't feel right. And that's why, we're expected to work as hard in January as we do in August. We are expected to maintain the same level throughout the year. And it just doesn't work. That's not the way we were built. It's not the way we were designed. And if life actually accommodated that better, I think we would be able to actually function better in a more cyclical way. Now, I know it's not possible to suddenly be like, hey boss, did you know that I don't operate as well in the winter, so I think I'll come in at 10 and leave at 2. That's not going to fly, right? But there are things we can do outside of our mandatory things like work and school that we can support ourselves in the different seasons. So I know winter is past at this point, but in winter, what we can do is we can support that rest. Maybe that means less time doing social activities. Maybe it means saying no to operating at a high level. Maybe we do what is required of us in terms of our mandatory things like work and school, but maybe the rest of the time we rest and we relax and we recuperate and we get ready and prepare ourselves for a time when we are going to feel more alive again. And I think it's really important that we do that and embrace that, because when we don't embrace that and when we try and work on this level all year for years and years and years and years, it is inevitable that we are going to burn out. But today I wanted to talk to you about spring and why now is the time. Spring is a time of renewal, a time of rebirth. It is the natural and historical point of the year where a new year makes sense now. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of spring. The animal world, nature, it's waking up. And we are more deeply connected to nature than we ever give ourselves credit for. We are waking up after a period of rest, of relaxation, and we are getting ready for a period of renewal, of rebirth, of starting over. We feel more alive, more inspired, more ready to maybe set an intention for the year or to set a goal. And I am firmly of the mindset that it doesn't have to ever be a particular time of year that you start something new, whenever feels right for you. But it never feels right in January. And I think society plays on that. I think it's something crazy like 90% of people will fail on their New Year's resolutions. And that's because it's not the right time. It is not the right time. And, instead of the narrative being like, you didn't succeed on that resolution because the timing wasn't right. It's like people quit their resolutions. And like we know it's because it's the time of year, and that actually things would be better if we did them when it felt right for us, but also when it felt right naturally for our bodies. And spring is that time. So for today's episode, I do want to share with you what my plans and intentions are for the coming year. So I would definitely say that I cycle from sort of like spring equinox to spring equinox. I guess I'm more of like a almost like tax year to tax year kind of person if you're UK based. I don't necessarily base it on the tax year, by the way, but it's that sort of time of year that, you know, spring equinox comes round. We're at that point of equal day to night, and the best is coming, and that brings you very naturally with the seasons. You're basically setting your year from spring, and it ends at the end of winter, and it feels like the natural way of doing things. And it feels the natural way of doing things because it is the natural way of doing things and how it was always done historically. So yeah, let's dive into some plans and intentions for the year ahead. So let's start with business stuff, and then we'll take a little sleigh ride into some of my personal intentions and goals for the year. So first of all, and coming really soon, is my signature seasonal living course. Now, you've heard me talk about it before. It's rooted in seasons. Some of you were lucky enough to be founding members of the course. There is a whole ton of extra content from there, access to my membership, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But basically, Rooted in Seasons is my signature seasonal living course. It is the perfect guide for anyone that really wants to dive into living with the seasons and connecting with the most authentic version of who they are. As humans, we were designed to live in line with the seasons, and Rooted in Seasons will help guide you in I guess a discovery of who you are, who you were meant to be, and how you can better connect with seasonal living. We dive into what seasonal living means, how you can incorporate it into your own life, the importance of eating seasonally, the wisdom of nature's seasons, seasonal mindfulness and self-reflection. We're going to go through each and every season from spring all the way through to winter. We are going to embrace topics such as the seasonal home and environment, nutrition, how you can sustain this seasonal lifestyle, and why it is so important. And I cannot wait to get started. This course is opening only for 2 weeks. You'll only be able to purchase it for 2 weeks, and then the doors will close, and I don't know whether I'll offer it again this year or not. My ultimate intention is that I will offer Rooted in Seasons twice a year on the 2 equinoxes of the year, so spring equinox and autumn equinox. So you can purchase Rooted in Seasons from the 20th of March 2024, also known as spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, and you will be able to purchase the course for 2 weeks, and then the cart will close. And like I said, I don't know whether I will offer it at autumn equinox or not, so stay tuned for that. I would love to see you in the course. The course is £97, and like I said, it includes everything I just went through, plus access to my paid membership on Substack for life. You also get access to monthly Zoom meetings. Meetings is a bit formal way of saying it, but basically a monthly Zoom call. If you can't attend live, it will obviously be recorded, and that will just be also associated with seasonal living, and will include things like hints and tips and questions. It will be free to ask questions, of course, as well, and yeah, just mindfulness, meditation, and just everything in line with living seasonally. So that opens on the 20th of March. Head over to my Instagram, which is the Slow Living Collective, and you'll be able to find out more there. or head over to my website. That's theslowlivingcollective.com. But yeah, I'm so excited to welcome you guys onto the course. My founding members were incredible in helping me cultivate what worked, what didn't work, what extra they needed, and everything like that. So I was really pleased that I did the founding member part, and I'm now really just looking forward to welcoming you guys into the course, because I'm so proud of it. I worked so hard on it. I guess one question that I have had is like, what qualifications do I have to enable me to, create a course like this and charge for it? I mean, other than a big raft of qualifications, which I will get to in just a second, I've also lived this way, and lived experience is also massively important. But I know lots of people like to know that someone is quote unquote qualified in something, which is understandable, of course. So I am actually a qualified yoga teacher with the Yoga Alliance. So that means I completed my yoga teacher training with a registered yoga school. I'm also qualified as a registered kids yoga teacher and a holistic health coach. This was done via a YACEP provider, which is a Yoga Alliance continuing education provider. I also have accredited qualifications in holistic herbalism, seasonal cycles and celebrations. I'm super excited to have created this course, and I cannot wait to help you guys embrace seasonal living, because I promise you it is a game changer, and I'm really looking forward to working more one-on-one with you guys inside the course, and helping you figure out the changes you can make and build it into your life to make it sustainable in the long term. So that's rooted in seasons. The second intention for the year is this podcast. I am really excited about where I can take this podcast this year. I have predominantly recorded all of my guest episodes for the year. I just have a couple, and they're going to be quite exciting ones actually. So I've got my 100th episode coming up, which I am going to collaborate with my husband on. It'll be the first time my husband's been on this podcast, and he is going to take the reins on that, and we're going to delve into me on that episode. This was completely his idea, and so we are going to have questions from you guys about like anything you want to know. We are going to delve into the nitty gritty, and so for my 100th episode we are going to celebrate, and we are going to do a big Q&A. If you want to drop me a question, then just head to the Slow Living Collective .com/QA, and you should be able to find the little form should come up, and you can just drop any question, whatever you want to know, ask anything, be as light or as detailed as possible. I'm just super looking forward to that episode. So yeah, we've got big plans for the podcast this year. You've probably noticed that I have put in some sponsorship on the podcast. I work super hard to generate these episodes, and it's just a little way that I can, I guess, reclaim some of my expenses in terms of my time. So yeah, I work really hard on this podcast. I would say it's the central thing that I do, and I love creating the content. I love creating the free content. I love enabling people to have the ability to just stumble upon this podcast and find anything to do with slow living for free, and be able to start applying it to their own lives. I'm just looking forward to growing this podcast. It went from absolute strength to strength last year. I had some wonderful guests on. I've got wonderful guests on this year, and I'm just looking forward to just really having some really great conversations. So I am actually fully booked for the whole year at this point. Like I said, I have a few episodes to record, but they are just episodes like the 100th episode, and also Ray is actually going to come back on and do a guest episode with me, so we haven't figured that out yet. He's the one person that takes care of the kids while I am recording the episodes, so we need to figure out some childcare so we can get those episodes done. I think we'll probably do them at the same time. But he's the only one outstanding. Everything else is sorted for the year, so I'm fully booked with guest episodes for the year, which is amazing. I always say that I'm just so grateful that I get to have incredible conversations with incredible people, and I think that's what I love the most about the podcast. I love doing the solo episodes, but I also really love doing guest episodes as well, and just having that space to just chat with people that are absolutely blooming ace. Just normal people doing normal things in their normal lives, and they're incredible, and I love that. So just, yeah, that's a big intention for the year, is just keep podcasting and keep enjoying it. Now, something else I've recently put out is my Simple Living Guide. It's this massive, all-encompassing guide to embracing simplicity. And if you haven't checked it out, go check it out because it is amazing. You can find it at theslowlivingcollective.com/simplicity guide. It is for sale. So there is a cost to that, but it is a very, very extensive guide. It is everything you would ever need to get started on your journey to embracing a more simple, mindful and intentional life. People that have already bought it have some incredible things to say about it. I worked super hard on it. So if embracing a more simple, slow, intentional life is on your radar for the next year, then go check out the guide. I think you will love it. And yeah, let me know what you think. And I would love to follow along your journey to simple living as well, because I think we can all make space for simplicity in our lives. Another intention for the year has to do with my membership, and my membership has been open a little while now. I decided to create a membership for a number of reasons, really, but one of them was just to be able to connect with the people that follow me and support me, I guess on a more deep level, and just be able to really get into the weeds with people about slow and simple living, and be able to sort of create this little community. And yeah, a membership was something that was on my radar for a really long time, and I wanted a space where I could sort of create deeper dives into topics, as well as, you know, really just focusing on the topics that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, I just felt like there are so many different options for creating a community online, and social media wasn't it, because you don't own your social media following. I wanted a place that was really organic, and that I had the ownership over the list and the people that I had there. I've been a writer my whole life, really, and definitely my whole adult life, and creating a written membership enabled me to have this space that I could write on, but I also do monthly insider podcast episodes aside from this podcast, and mostly I had this big issue myself with this idea of creating a membership, that I shouldn't ask people for payment, and do you know what? I want to tell you, if you're in a similar position, that it's okay to ask for payment for work that you do. because I work really hard and I'm really proud of the work I do, and I give a lot away for free. I know what I create has immense value, and I felt like it was time to start doing that and just embrace it. I want to create deeper connections with the people that identify with my content, and I wanted to, and I still want to, foster much deeper relationships with people who are just like me. And I feel like this will just bring more to what I do. Now, as part of my membership, there is a free option. So it's not just a paid option. You can absolutely join as a free member to my Substack. So you can find me on Substack. The link is theslowlivingcollective.substack.com, and you can join as a free subscriber. You will get weekly posts, but if you did want to join as a paid member, the paid membership cost is $4.99 a month, and for that you will also get the 4 free posts per month. You will also get 4 paid posts per month. You also get a paid subscriber only podcast episode a month, and you also get access, and you can join whether you want or not, you get access to my monthly online circle as well. So yeah, and that also, being a paid member, you also have access to paid membership chats, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to just connecting deeper and really fostering more of that community spirit as well. So I just want to create this really nice, simple, calm space. And so yeah, I love the membership, and if you are interested in joining, please come and join me over on Substack. The link again is theslowlivingcollective.substack.com, and yeah, you can find all the free and paid options there. I'm so excited to have you, and I'm so excited to have the membership, and I look forward to seeing you there as either a free or paid member. And the last of my intentions in terms of business for this year is what I'm doing with the Slow Living Collective offline. Now, you may or may not know that the Slow Living Collective isn't just my baby. It is the baby of both myself and my mum. We both have very different skills to bring to the table. We also have some similar skills that we bring to the table. And she prefers to live her life offline, which I completely understand why. But I do mostly anything I do online, but we also do stuff offline as well. And later this month starts the first of our offline circles that we are going to be doing, almost like circles / wellness days. They are going to be hosted locally. We live in East Hertfordshire, so if you are interested and it's a commutable distance for you, or you'd love to come down for the day and join one, then be sure to drop me a message. Probably best to drop me a message on Instagram, and my username there is @theslowlivingcollective, and I can give you all the information about those. But they will be this nourishing space where we are mindful, where we do we're going to be doing some restorative yoga, we are going to be doing meditation, setting intentions, and yeah, it's just going to be a really, really nourishing space. We are starting them monthly, and so we have dates for March, April and May so far, and we'll also extend throughout the summer and into the autumn as well. Alongside that, teaching yoga is another thing I'm doing with the Slow Living Collective offline, doing more mindfulness and meditation workshops. Something I have planned but haven't set in stone yet is sunrise yoga, and I'm so looking forward to it. We're going to do outdoor sunrise yoga, and yeah, not sure when that's going to come to fruition yet, but it's in the pipeline. So lots of exciting things coming for the Slow Living Collective offline, as well as lots of exciting things online as well. Running a business can be challenging, and we all know that finding the right tools to simplify your work is absolutely crucial. That's where Flowdesk comes in. Flowdesk is your one-stop solution for creating beautiful newsletters, effortless workflows, and serving your mailing list with ease. Managing your mailing list has never been this simple, saving you time and headaches. And here's the best part. As a listener of the Slow Living Collective podcast, you can enjoy a whopping 50% off for your first year. Just visit theslowlivingcollective.com/flowdesk to claim your exclusive offer and experience the convenience and beauty of Flowdesk for your business. Don't let the complexity of running a business overwhelm you. Choose Flowdesk and make email marketing one less thing to worry about. Now let's dive into some personal goals for the year. So the first thing I want to do is I really want to get a better handle on my anxiety this year. I've had CBT therapy before and I find it so helpful, and I'm definitely so much better than I was, but I still have the propensity to spiral at some points. And so really my goal this year is to, I guess, retrain my brain. Like, you know, our brains are neuroplastic and we can absolutely forge new neural pathways, and so I really want to dive better into that this year, and figure out how I can retrain my brain into not being so chaotic and, I don't know what the word is, just I guess catastrophizing around health stuff. I want to figure out a way that I can find a better balance with that. So that's a big goal for the year. Secondly, I want to take more time to do the things that I teach everybody else to do. I want to spend more time doing my own personal yoga and connecting with myself better on the mat. I want to take more time doing my own meditations. I want to take more time to embrace the stillness and the slowness, rather than just teaching everybody else how to do it and sometimes skipping out on it myself. So that's definitely something to focus on this year. The third thing I want to focus on is education. So I have lots of things that I want to do. Like I mentioned earlier in this episode, I'm a qualified yoga teacher, and I do, well, part of the cycle of being a yoga teacher is continuing to do education with a continuing education provider. So I have loads that I want to do. It's just finding, I guess, the time and space to be able to do it. I have 2 small children and life is busy, but something I have already started recently is a course in homeopathy, which I'm really excited about because that's something I'm super passionate about. That is actually not a Yoga Alliance continuing education provider. This is just for fun, just for interest. So looking forward to getting through that, and lots of learning there. But in terms of my continuing education with the Yoga Alliance, I've honestly got so many things that I want to do, but I guess some of the key things I want to do is I want to qualify doing yoga nidra, which is yogic sleep. I want to get my certificate in Ayurveda, and I want to finish my mindfulness and breathwork stuff to offer to children as well, because I'm a qualified children's yoga teacher too. So lots of stuff to be going on there, but we'll see. We'll have a recap and see where I'm at the I don't know, the end of winter in 2025. But yeah, lots of exciting things. I love learning, and I've really sort of found my flow with the things that I love to do. So it's just finding the time and space to be able to do them. And I think ultimately what I want this year is to just live simply. My word of the year, which I did set in January, but my word of the year is simplicity, and that's how I want to follow through the rest of this year. I want to embrace simplicity. I want to find bigger spaces between the noise, and I just want to live that life that I desire, that I talk about, that slow and simple life, and I want to make sure that I am truly living it. So I hope it was interesting to hear what my goals are. I would love to know what your goals are. If you are listening to this episode on Spotify, there is a question box under all of my episodes. You can answer the question there. Otherwise, follow me over on Instagram and let me know what your goals, intentions, resolutions, whatever you decide to call them, I don't know. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that gave you a little insight into me, who I am, what I do. Yeah, lots of information in there, but I hope to either see you in my Rooted in Seasons course, in my membership, maybe at an event, a face-to-face event that I'm hosting this year. There's so much going on, and I can't wait to just delve deeper with you guys, my actual true community here. So thank you again so much for listening. You can find me over on Instagram. I am there at the username at the Slow Living Collective. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at the Slow Living Collective Pod. You can follow my website, theslowlivingcollective.com, and you can also join my either free or paid membership over on Substack. That is theslowlivingcollective.substack.com. I have thoroughly enjoyed sharing today with you guys all my intentions and goals for the year ahead. I would love to know yours, so please do drop me either a message or pop something in the question box if you're on Spotify. I would love to know. Thank you guys so much again for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode.